Hey guys, how you doing? Austin here, live on the Clear Cryptos channel here with a buddy of mine, obviously Zach. How are you today? How's it going with you today, sir?
What's up, man? Back in the saddle, I guess. Back in the studio. So running on a few hours of sleep. So if I'm a little off, but I'm here, man. I'm here. New week.
Yeah, you had a travel odyssey, right? Trying to get back
Oh,
from, you were on a family trip to Florida, right?
yeah, just typical right now with all the airlines, man. Just got hung up and ended up getting in last night at like 3. Drove an hour from the airport and went to bed about 4:30. But I'm here, man. Another week. A little bit of a pullback in the crypto market, right? Just a little bit, but still relatively good stuff, really. I mean, slightly down, nothing major.
I think we are going to, so Boca stomps foot. What does that mean? Boca stomp, what does that mean? Boca stomps foot. Hey, Glenn's here. Glenn, how are you, sir? Welcome. Good to see you. Boca, you're going to have to add something to that. I don't know what you mean. There you are. Oh, there you are. I guess he was stomping foot like we should have been started. I don't know. Boca's sometimes a little esoteric. Ooh, there's a good word of the day. All right, there you go. Much love from the Seifu Ape family. What's up, guys? There we go. All right, cool. So we got a few people with us. We're just going to hang out. So, guys, kind of an impromptu thing. Zach and I are kind of becoming by de facto here, kind of your Monday live streamers on the Clear Cryptos channel. So got a couple things. So Zach, you and I were talking beforehand. I've got some dates, some stuff I want to show you, some stuff, cool stuff as far as, some macro events that are out there. So we can talk about those. And if anybody else wants to talk about it. Okay, here's
I think I know where you're going with that, right? CPI data.
Oh, yeah, but there's some new twist to it on the CPI data. So I want to talk about that.
Okay.
So Boca says it was stuck in waiting. Sometimes it freezes on me. So you have to stomp your foot, I guess. Is that Boca? And instead of hitting the refresh, I don't know. We're going to move on. Glenn should have been tapping foot. Yep. All right. So here's what I want to talk about, Mr. Zach. Because, yeah. So, by the way, for those of you guys who missed it, Zach's on like 3 hours of sleep because he didn't get home till like 4 o'clock from travel odyssey trying to get back from Florida. So we're going to anything we can do to play tricks on him. Glenn, give me some ideas for tricks that I can play on Zach, and then we'll have a good time with that. Okay.
Let's go to the bald jokes, right? I mean, that's always the low blow, the low hanging fruit.
The oldies, but the goodies always work, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I found this morning over on Cointelegraph, and ironically, I was looking at it just to kind of see. This is what got my attention. 5 things to know in Bitcoin this week. Okay. So I'm going to pull these up and I want to get your opinion. This was talking about some of the overriding kind of monthly stuff that had happened, how Bitcoin, and so we're talking about this in the context of Bitcoin, right? But to me, Bitcoin always equals kind of the larger crypto view. Okay. And so, but here's what I wanted. Let me scroll down. Here we go. Hold on, I'm getting there.
Boca said, "Show me last October's chart and tell me it's today."
There you go. I could do that, Boca. That sounds good, man. There you go. So this is what I wanted to get into with you, Mr. Zach. So, a couple of things here. So this is Alex Kruger. He does a lot of macro kind of crypto factors, if you will. So this was interesting. August 10th CPI is going to be done, but right here, I'm not going to click on it because it'll actually open up. Well, it'll open up right here. On August 10th, Zach, we get the CPI data. Excuse me, the CPI data is going to be completed. All right, but the actual data itself is not going to be published till September. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Made you go, Yep, there we go. All right. So per this, we're not going to get that report on August 10th, which I thought we were, and you and I had talked we were, right? And then because the Federal Reserve Board is not going to meet until the end of September. I believe it was September 20th, 21st. And then that's when they're going to deliver us their decision on this CPI data, right? Here's something I didn't know. The Fed has a Jackson Hole summit on August 25.
Okay.
And so what I'm speculating, what's your opinion on this? We may get some remarks that come out of that, right? We might get some information. We might get some remarks, What's your thoughts there?
Yeah, they could give us some indication of what's to come maybe in September. And I think that would be good. I think in the short term, like we were talking about the last time we were all live, I think Justin was on with us and Hobbs and Oscar. Here in the short term, I mean, there's really nothing that could drive us down unless we have some kind of black swan event in crypto, which we've dealt with enough of those. Hopefully we're past that. So I would be cool with sideways action. I mean, I think some form of consolidation right now would be great, leading up to whenever we do get that CPI data.
And look at here you go. Look at Bitcoin. It's as of the 27th. It's sideways.
Mm-hmm.
So we're moving to your point. I would like to see this. This is what I would love to see for a little bit of time.
Yep. I mean, the thing of it is too, I went back and looked at that Luna collapse, dude. I mean, Bitcoin dropped 20% on that news. So like, what would it have dropped that hard? I know we kind of entertained that question a little bit last time we were together. You wonder, like, if we would have really just maybe been in the same range, but not have had like the big drop-offs in between. Like if we just would have been in a bear market, if you will, without all the black swan stuff, if it would have been kind of more of a consolidation rather than these kind of, nosedives down. One, when we were consolidating around 30K for a while, then we took a nosedive, right? And then it was like around the 22 range, 21 range, and then we took a nosedive to 17.6 on more bad news. You wonder if that would have just been more sideways action, kind of where we're trading at right now, if we didn't have all those, black swan events with Three Arrows Capital and Luna and Voyager and
Oh, absolutely,
all those things.
So real quick, so we got crypto shops in the house. Luxide's here. Good to see you guys. By the way, the link to join, you guys know where to find it if y'all want to, if any of you guys want to join. So just FYI on that. So I think we got to go back real quickly. It looks like right here, I'm feeling like Zach is combing through news this morning. I feel like that's a backhanded, no hair joke. Am I reading that right?
Well, I'm always combing through news.
No. You don't have any hair. You're combing through.
Oh, I see what they did there. Nice. That's probably Foxy, isn't it?
Yeah, I bet you it is. Nice. Yeah.
Touche.
That's a good one. If that's what. Clear Crypto's official. Come back and say if we got that one right. Somebody drop in and say if that's what am I. So if he's slurping coffee or a mimosa, I think you're doing coffee.
Just coffee right now.
Just coffee.
I got an extra large. I needed 2 of these things.
Yeah, I know. It's funny as heck.
Here's one for you, Austin. If you did you have like did you have something you want to hit on right now?
I think there's a few other dates. We'll go back to that in a minute, but go ahead, man.
Well, here's a date for you. The merge with Ethereum.
Yeah.
September 19th. And it's kind of funny how that falls, right? Because it's right before the next Fed meeting. Right. Ethereum has been outpacing Bitcoin a little bit, which is good because a lot of the tokens, are of course run on Ethereum. A lot of ERC20 tokens have been following ETH, and it's interesting. You wonder if ETH does really get going. I just read something from Raoul Pal. He had a great thread recently on his Twitter, basically saying if it got into like the 2000 range, I think it was 2000 to 2300, that could force a lot of people in and create kind of like a FOMO situation. And there are a lot of hedge funds like who don't want to miss the boat if it does run up. So like they're kind of on the edge of their seat making calls right now on like, what's Ethereum going to do here? And then of course that would drive like retail demand too.
We had a lot of, so you remember when the merge news kind of came out, right? And Ethereum was at around 1600, and there was a lot of institutional money for Ethereum that came in at that level, to your point, right? And so, that was, I think it was a direct corollary to, they kind of like, all right, this is our mark, this is our number, this is when we want to get in. So you're saying that Raoul Pal is saying that could happen again at 2000? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So let me see if I can. Oh, here we go. Here, can I share?
Yeah, just drop it, throw it up there, and I'll show it.
Let me see here. Window. I want to make sure Raoul Pal. This should be it. Here we go. This was his thread the other day. So where was the hedge funds are scrambling to buy calls just in case ETH breaks 1,800 to 2,000. They cannot afford not to participate. Thought that was interesting. And then it says above this level, retail would start to be forced in along with institutions. 2,200 to 2,300 is the key one for me. A break of that either happens pre-merge or post-merge. Of course, that's that September 19th date. Once everyone has got back in, the market can correct sharply before rising again based on the macro.
Okay, well, jump over to CMC. I mean, I know it's trading in the 1,600 range now, but so I guess that's the question for the day. Do we believe that Ethereum will get by, let's call it September 19th? Do we believe that ETH will get to that $2,200 level? I think it's entirely possible, because here's why. There's really, in my opinion, there's two sides of it. So really in August, we don't have a lot of bad macro catalysts coming. We got the August 2.5 Fed Jackson Hole summit, not an official meeting. They're not setting policy. They're just, having a summit. We may get some remarks out of that, but I don't see anything really changing. And the other thing on the CPI, the CPI data report is gas, the price of fuel has been going down, right? And there's this also call, there's another call for speculation from that same Kruger guy I was showing in the previous article, that's talking about if Europe doesn't have a bad winter from a fuel consumption, if it's not going to be a really harsh winter, that could bode well again for that kind of deal. But I think we all know that CPI, the reason that the CPI jumped 1.3%, last month or whatever, or this month, last month rather, the bulk of it was gas. Fuel, rising fuel.
Speaking of gas, here you go. Raoul Paul's just he's going right now about an hour ago on it. So he says the macro is falling into place. The last leg of the commodity demand destruction trade is kicking in. Gasoline has now broken the big head and shoulders top, as you can see there.
Okay.
And then he says crude is following to or setting to follow suit. Price target would be 60-ish. So this is good. Bond yields are nearly off 100 BPS from the highs and have no support until 2%. Inflation is yesterday news.
Buy bonds, wear diamonds.
He's great, man. I love Raoul Pol. He breaks it down in very simplistic terms. Luxide has a good question. Do you think that merge will actually happen in September? Or be delayed?
I think it'll be delayed. I guarantee you it'll be delayed. It's going to be delayed. There's going to be something.
We talk about these crypto projects and companies all the time. It's like, don't give a date and then under deliver, but Ethereum does it all the time. I mean, I guess it's because it's ETH. It's okay. Some of the smaller projects have gotten hit hard because of missing a lot of deadlines, but I don't know. I mean, Cardano's missed their deadline 3 times now with the Vassal hard fork. That was supposed to happen in June, or twice. It was supposed to happen in June. They pushed it to late July. Now they're looking at August. I mean, I guess it's part of it. Speaking of
those
that,
guys get a pass. They get a
those
pass.
guys get a pass. Yeah.
If other projects missed like date 3 times, it'd be like, oh my god, it's a scam.
Right.
Cardano.
Right.
Okay.
Cardano's like, okay, they're solidified. They can push their Vassal hard fork off another month. Meanwhile, that's the biggest upgrade yet for Cardano. That's going to be huge for developers coming in on Cardano's blockchain there to develop. That's gonna help with scalability. Hoskinson said that's the biggest upgrade they've ever had to this point. So
right. Shib's holding strong. Back to Luxide's question. I mean, to me, this is the biggie. If we get a push, I don't know. I think because here's what I'm really focused on is kind of the macro stuff. I mean, it's just been the macro story for all of 21. Really, obviously, it's what's decimated crypto. Overriding is the Russia-Ukraine war, the COVID supply chain issues, inflation, fear of recession, blah blah blah. Right. Yep. But I think what I'm hopeful is that Powell actually has his finger on the pulse per his remarks, and that we are in the worst of it and we're going to improve, or it's going to, we're going to get better from here. So
yep,
to me, that's the big question.
Bernie M has a good comment. King ETH doesn't have to be on time. Party doesn't start without him. It's a good point.
Exactly.
It's a good point.
Exactly. Now, Alexei brings this up. A party with better scaling solutions may leave ETH at the door. This is an ongoing discussion. I know, Alexei, but the truth of the matter is that not really. You can look at Cardano, Polkadot, and look at all these other guys, and they're all fantastic tech, and they are all good in their own way. But ETH is the 9 million pound gorilla, and in the final nail will be this merge, and it will be just continue. Now, with all that said, I still own Cardano, Polkadot, those guys, because I think why not own the other blockchains on the block?
Sure. I mean, here's the thing: Cardano in the long term, sure, it could catch Ethereum somewhere down the line. I mean, right now it's 10x. It's 10x away from a market cap standpoint of catching Ethereum. 10x, and that's a long ways away, right? And Ethereum's in a lot of people's eyes just getting started as well. I mean, there's going to be big changes when you look at this top 10 from now until 2030. There will be. A few of them probably will still be here too. I like both, but to your point, Austin, I own both. I mean, I've been loading up on Cardano quite a bit.
Cardano's good long term. I mean, it's high in the last year was $2.96. It's trading at 54 cents right now. And it's I know you and I've talked about this. I always think of them as discounts right now because of the precipitous fall. Ooh, that's a good word of the day. Woo, use that later in a sentence, freak somebody out. Because of its fall earlier this year, you've got that situation, right, where it's like, why not look at, that's literally how I look at things. Like it's a discount, So here's a good one. I want to go to Glenn's cut. What if Ripple hadn't been interfered with? I mean, amen, hallelujah. Ripple, Ethereum got a pass. And they went after Ripple. They went after Ripple XRP. And where would that be? I think that at that time, Ripple XRP was viewed as the biggest threat to kind of the establishment, if you will. Yep. And that's my opinion.
Yeah, the last bull run 2017, XRP was outpacing everything. I mean, it was just dominating everything. I mean, even Bitcoin included. And yeah, I mean, that's a great point. I mean, but it hit too close to home. It hit too close to home.
Too many people in certain vertical industries were like, I don't know, this is scary.
Right. It's like, we get it. Our system's archaic and blockchain is better, but we don't have control over what you guys are doing over there at Ripple. Yeah, right. We don't have our sticky fingers on that. So wait a minute.
I'll give a simple analogy. Moving money from one bank to another is instant now, but why do we still have to wait 3 days for those funds? Real simple, because somebody is making money off the float.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So
exactly.
I'm just going to leave that right there. You can do with it as you will, right?
But there's no question. I mean, the good thing is there's no question that, that tech, it has to be used at some point, whether it's,
absolutely.
Whether it's going to be, the government creating their own CBDC. I don't know. I mean, but it's coming. And the good thing is our industry isn't going anywhere. I mean, crypto and the tech is going to be utilized in so many different sectors. I mean, look what VeChain's doing with supply chain. Absolutely. To me, that's an untalked about one. I mean,
Nobody talks about VeChain and what they're doing with supply chain.
100%. I mean, if they hit on one of those, I think there are like 9 areas that they want to kind of tackle. It's like retail, agriculture, or two that, off the top of my head. If they tackle one of those, logistics is another one. Logistics would be huge. I mean, just that alone. Forget if they even hit it on agriculture or retail. I mean, just hit the logistics side of it. I mean, that's massive.
Right.
So that's the good thing. I mean, the tech's going to be used in banking. It's going to be, used for data storage. I mean, it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. Here we go. Once Ripple gains regulatory clarity, hold on to your seats. I agree, Boca. Once the lawsuit is settled, and absolutely. I know personally, and you and I both know some of the same people there, Zach. We know people that are sitting on absolute piles of XRP.
Oh yeah. But the good thing, talking about all this regulation and kind of what's coming, the good thing about like when Clear is coming is they get out in front of it, right? Like they get to kind of understand what's happened here these last 10 years. And really, if we go more micro in these last couple years, and really even this year with the task force and everything started, Clear has a chance to have a seat at that table and really respond perfectly, right? Yeah. As to what's going to be quote unquote allowed and not allowed, and what's a security, what's a commodity. And so I think the timing is perfect.
Yeah. I think the right projects, inclusive of Clear, in my opinion, leading the charge, are looking to have the right conversations with the right people.
Yep.
Period. And try to and be part of that dialogue. That's what I would say to that. And I think that's one of the cool things about what Clear, even it's not even out yet, and they're already looking at like, okay, let's be part of the solution.
100%.
So speaking of Clear, and so we've got our colic. When is Clear launching? Don't have a defined date yet. It's coming, and the reason is that Clear is one of those companies that is looking that when it goes live, it wants its tech to be there, up and running, and deliver instantly for you guys on multiple fronts. And so no date, but it's coming. So just stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and subscribe to their Twitter feed as well. I still say that. I still think it's a funny word. All right.
Oh, here, let me, can I share this real quick?
Yeah. You still, do you have, it's the same page or?
Yep. Same page.
Let's see.
Did you see this that came out yesterday, late morning, about 24 hours ago? So USA new bill creates cryptocurrency specialist position in the White House. So this is good. I mean, they need to get more opinions. The SEC is not ready to handle this. They're just
Nobody's
not
ready to handle it. Nobody.
I mean, the SEC is definitely going to have a voice in this, but I mean, they need to get. I know they're working on a task force committee, but I mean, there needs to be a lot of people involved here, or else the SEC is just going to rule with an iron fist, and that's not going to benefit anybody.
No, it's a turf war, right? You and I've talked about this. Right now, you've literally got a turf war going on at the agency level, the CFTC, the SEC, and whomever else is or is not. But I think this is awesome. This is cool. USA new bill creates cryptocurrency specialist position in the White House. Okay. I mean, interesting, but what does that really mean? And what's that really, I realize it's breaking news, but we'll see how that's going to play out. I think, because here's the thing, as far as, we can talk about it and we should, and we are, right? But there's really nothing going to happen in this stuff, in my opinion, until next year.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You're going to see more and more sound bites and news clips and pieces, all with the lingering message of crypto needs regulation, this, crypto needs to be cleared up, this. And then you're going to see like Gary Gensler coming out and saying the exchange is this, and that we're going to sue these people for insider and all this kind of stuff. That's all going to keep on because it's a turf war.
100%, dude. Yeah, you're right. I mean, and everybody has their own interest in mind, and with the SEC, they want everything to be a security because then they get to manage it. Stamp of approval on it, right? It makes sense. I mean, yeah. I mean, it'll be fascinating to watch. I mean, the thing that I've always just been saying, it's going to happen. However, it's going to happen. We just got to stay locked into it. That's why I know you and I both have covered it a lot on our channels.
Absolutely.
We'll continue to do so because anytime we have new information, that's going to help us help investors make moves accordingly and make decisions accordingly based on what we're hearing, based on what we're seeing. I think it's pretty clear Bitcoin is safe. At least that's how I feel right now. I mean, because Gary Gensler has even said, Bitcoin's a commodity, everything else, flip a coin. Basically is how I've taken his previous quotes in the past. So it really comes down to everything outside of Bitcoin right now for me. I look at Bitcoin as it's here. They're going to find a way to do whatever they're going to do with Bitcoin. They're listing it as a commodity. And really it's property. I
agree. But also all of crypto could be viewed as property in one way or the other. I think
it should. That's what it's viewed now from a tax standpoint.
Yeah, it's that from a tax standpoint, that's literally how it's classified. Most people don't know that. It is literally viewed as property. But again, that's the point, right? It's that the governmental agencies are literally trying to rewrite or write and or create and whatever variation on that to fit their view of how it should be regulated.
Yep, 100%.
I want to come back here. So Go1D Mad, that's a really interesting username there. Very cool. How does the token fit in? What utilities? So this obviously talking about Clear. So Clear, real quickly. I mean, from a utility standpoint, it's again very much multifaceted. Check out a lot of their content here. So the utilities, it's going to have an analytics platform built into the website, a trading platform built into the website, an educational platform built into the website, all with the goal of trying to help you, manage crypto, make better decisions, all et cetera. And then, but there is a ton more utility coming. And this is right, Zach. One of the things I love about Clear is it's not a single utility or utility use kind of project. And I mean, we could literally spend an hour talking about things it's going to do. Can't do that quite yet, but it's coming,
Yep.
So any thoughts you want to add on that as far as utilities?
Yeah, it's multifaceted. I think the one thing that's pretty apparent in just looking at the website, right, is the trading platform, a very enhanced trading platform, one that we haven't seen in our industry before like it. It's going to make a lot of the tools that are clunky on other platforms easier to use. I think we can say that, and you'll see kind of what that looks like once it gets up and running. But even what we're doing right here, I think this is a huge piece of it. Of course, this is, so important. It's educating, especially educating the people not in crypto. So a lot.
I would add, I would add into that. I thought you were done. Sorry, see me.
No, go ahead.
I'm talking over you again. Now you're aware of it because I called myself out on it. You're like, dude. You just got to
see. I think I just did. It's hard when there's like the delay. Like when you're face to face, you can kind of gauge when you have the nonverbals.
You jump in on the verbal cue. Like I'm leaning in, I want to talk, and then you're like, right. Oh, I started back.
I get it.
I think the one thing that you made me think of though on the trading platform to answer the question, like there are other tools out there right now that are on their homepage that are saying these are the top 5 trending tokens right now, and the truth of the matter is that those are not the top 5. Or top 10, top 2, whatever. They've paid to be in that position, which is not fair, accurate, true, real. Any of the, so you're like, oh, I'll go buy one of those top 5. No, it's not top 5.
Yep.
And so Clear's view and what they want to do is, again, clean up that and make crypto safer. All of that. So that's a big thing. All right. So Here you go. Bernie's asking what chain is Clear going to be on? Definitely Ethereum. There are discussions of other chains as well. They may not all be day one, but it will be multi-chained. There you go. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
The plan is to be multi-chain for sure, Bernie. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So back to our discussion.
Keep the questions rolling in, guys, too.
Absolutely. Keep the quick questions. So we got about another 10 minutes. Zach, we've been here about 30 minutes. We just want to do real quick, get on. So let's go for another 10 minutes or so. So back kind of to some of the macro stuff. Anything else we want to cover there? Kind of so to kind of recap, right? We've got August. Looks like it's going to be kind of a nice quiet month-ish, right? September's lining up to be pretty big. We'll have the published CPI report. We'll have, the Fed meeting. We have the Ethereum merge. I'm sure there's something else. We don't have a GDP report. Good. That's good because that's on a quarterly basis. So we don't have that. Thank goodness. No.
I think that's really it, man. I mean, I think you nailed it. I think August is going to be somewhat quiet, at least the first half of it here. It should be. I would love to see just a consolidating market. Nothing too crazy. Trade sideways in a relatively tight range. Be totally cool with that. Hopefully we get good news on the inflation front. It looks like, in watching and seeing what Raoul Pal and others are saying that things are looking good in that department. Maybe the worst of inflation is behind us and the rate hikes are working. I mean, that would be great. And I think that would be bullish for the overall market too, right? A positive CPI report and maybe, a rate hike of like 50 BPS. The next one. I mean, is that kind of what you're thinking?
I think we need to watch for the August 25th Fed summit remarks because they will already know the August 10th CPI data results. You've got to believe they're going to know those results, right? Because those results are not, per what we just learned today, those results are not going to be published until September 11th, I believe, and then publicly. So the Fed is going to maybe know those, and maybe we get remarks coming out of on that Fed summit. That's kind of what I'm looking at. I mean, that from a macro outside factor in, that's it. That's what I'm focused on, there.
Yep. I agree 100%. And I think this Ethereum merge is fascinating. It's going to be one to watch. Will it rise ahead of the date? Will it be kind of a buy the rumor, sell the news event within a bear market?
I almost hope it pushes. I almost hope it pushes.
Will Ethereum take off and get into that 2,300 zone and create the next bull market? It can go one of both ways. It could be one of those buy the rumor, sell the news. Great opportunity to swing trade here, right? It could be like a little bit of a fake out. I think a lot of it hinges on the data we get too, and the macroeconomic factors at play, the war, all these sort of things. Or it could be the next jolt to restart and ignite the next bull market.
And do you think though, per what you were doing and what you were analyzing this morning, and I'm not trying to trick you here, I'm asking, right? You were saying that if it gets over 2,000, we could see that as a spark, maybe in that 2,200 range, as a spark where that move up will spark the bull run. That's what you're saying?
Yeah. Listen, I'm not that smart. Raoul Paul's smart. So I just listen to smart people. And that's what he's saying. I mean, he's saying basically that's what hedge funds are doing. He's run hedge funds. He's been there. He knows that game way better than we do. So, I mean, that's what he says. He says the hedge funds are sitting on potentially making some calls if Ethereum gets there because they don't want to miss out if that's the start of the big run.
You're talking about long positions.
And if the hedge funds start coming in long, then the retail demand starts driving up as well. And that's what happened last year. Yeah. I mean, that's what. But last year, I've read a lot of stuff on that. Last year was a lot more retail than normal. And I know institutions move the markets. I get all that, but there was a big retail push last year. I mean, look at Shiba Inu. That was a retail push. Look at Dogecoin. Look at GameStop. That was retail. That was retail. Of course, everything is ignited from institutions.
Right.
They have the big pockets. They have the big money. Right. But couple that with a big drive in retail demand. That's why 69,000 happened with Bitcoin.
I agree. All right. Well, our colleague's got a question. Is every other crypto waiting on the XRP court case? Would you agree if XRP loses that chaos may ensue? So number one, I'll take the first part. Zach, you take the second part. So no, I don't think that every other crypto is waiting on the XRP court case. I mean, so XRP, this thing has obviously been going on for years. I think that, my answer is no. So Zach, I'll let you have the rest of that question there.
So XRP, in my opinion, they're going to move with or without the United States. I mean, crypto's global. XRP is already operating in a lot of different parts of the world, Europe, Middle East. They're moving with or without the U.S. And I don't think the U.S. wants to miss the boat.
But the price of the token, the price of the token is constrained by the USA court case.
100%. Yeah. Being delisted off of major exchanges, right, like XRP, and I mean, technically, you're not even supposed to own it as a U.S. citizen. There are ways around it.
I mean, exactly.
Sure, like you can go get it on Uphold and like these smaller exchanges, but I mean, it would definitely dampen the price of XRP because without the American market fully unlocked, we'll say, that will definitely dampen the price. But in the long term, like XRP or Ripple, the company behind it, they're still going to be successful. I mean, they're going to operate in a lot of other different places.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already doing it.
Well, no, they're global, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what's interesting is the business itself, Ripple's business is doing well because it's all coming from, overseas, in the other parts of the world, right? The Philippines, et cetera, moving money. But I mean, the token is stalled because of, the lawsuit, and Boca G's like, yep, it's been a stall tactic. I think we all agree with that. So, so Dean asks, hey, what's up, Dean? Dean asks a good question. Will there be any staking opportunities with Clear? What are the incentives of holding long term? So the answer is absolutely being discussed. All facets of that are being looked at. That's really what can say right now is I think there will always be an opportunity because Clear, one of Clear's main objectives, right, Zach, is to deliver what value to their token holders, and so that they're looking at every single slice of however they can do that. You want to add anything to that?
Yeah. So I wish I could give you more here. What are the incentives of holding long term? There will be some very good incentives, and those things will be discussed by everybody once it's out and released. But very interesting incentives that we've seen on a small scale, but not on the scale that they're going to do it. So
Clear is always looking at how they can do it bigger and better, and because to ultimately drive more value to their community. I think that's really what they're looking. But thank you, Dean, for the question, and that's how we're going to answer it right now. So,
it's tough, Dean. We want to give you more, and we will. We definitely will. But
back to XRP, Luxide. XRP is already slinging deals outside of the US, so they will move if they have to. Yeah, I mean, we've
100%.
Absolutely.
We've already said it. Yeah, I mean, Garlinghouse has went on record multiple times, all the way back in 2021. We're going to go with or without the U.S. I mean, we want the U.S. Sure, it's a big market, but if not, then we'll keep going. The thing is, too, with XRP, most of these companies that get in these bouts with the SEC, they would have already bowed out. They would have already left. XRP, Ripple, I keep saying it's all the same. Ripple's going to spend roughly $100 million. $100 million when it's all said and done in legal fees. $100 million. Most companies won't do that. Most companies would have already said, okay, SEC, you win. We're done. We're done spending money.
Right.
Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple are like, no. We're in it to win it.
Well, they have money to fund it. Yeah, they're deep. They have deep pockets. Yeah.
Yep.
Deep pockets. But that's been good that they have had deep pockets, and it's gone the way it's gone.
It's good because it has ripple effects, pun intended, on the entire crypto market.
Yep.
It does. I mean,
agreed. All right, guys, we're going to start wrapping it up here in about 5 to 10 minutes approximately. So ask any questions you'd like. We're just kind of keep it to a Q&A. And so kind of what we've covered, if you're coming in, we've covered kind of some of the macro stuff. We've covered, the fact that the CPI data report's going to be done August 10th, but we're not going to see the results of that until around September 10th or 11th. So that's when that data will be published. So we're all going to be waiting on that. It would seem, though, from other sources, right, Zach, that you're seeing, that we're both reading, that it looks like inflation might be lessening because of lowering fuel costs, right? So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I think Justin said it the other day, which was he nailed it, was like a lot of the inflation was driven by oil, fuel. So if that's the big one, if that's coming down, which it looks like it is, according to what Raoul Paul's saying here and looking at that chart, that's good.
You can go to your local gas pump and you can see prices.
True.
I mean, they have.
You feel it.
And then we've got, what we might get is, again, one more macro kind of factor here is that the Federal Reserve is having a summit meeting on August 25th in Jackson Hole. That is not a federal, they're not setting policy. They're not going to be giving us, but we're going to be looking at comments or remarks coming out of that meeting because they most likely will by then know the CPI data and maybe they'll give us some insight, but we feel like it's getting better is kind of what we're looking. And then finally, you have the Federal Reserve meeting that happens at the end of September. You got the Ethereum merge. So September's lining up to be a pretty big potential catalyst month. And so here's what I want to ask you though. I want to flip on you. Look at July, right? Mm-hmm. July, man, we could have gone off the rails in July we got a bad CPI data report, 1.3% increase, right? But then we got the 75 basis point raise, which was in line with expectations. The market shrugged it off. And then we got the GDP report, which was minorly better than we thought. What's your opinion, Zach, on kind of July recap of that? It wasn't as bad, but it could have been bloody.
Yeah, I was shocked with the CPI data and the response to that because we had that big dip. I mean, really, and the same thing happened with the GDP report. We got like a big dip for like 30 minutes to an hour, and then it just completely reversed. So it feels like you're right. It wasn't as bad as it could have been, and it also feels like the market is ready to run. Like it feels like we're kind of exhausted from this downturn in the market.
I mean, 7+ months of just,
bad news after
bad news,
Black
not
Swan
good.
again after Black Swan. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we kind of had two speeding trains coming at us, and we were able to sidestep the tracks.
I mean, we knew the money printing would catch up. It did.
Yeah.
But we didn't know a war was happening. A war was going to happen, right? So like we had this indication of like, okay, this stuff's going to catch up with us at some point here with the money printing, right? And all the inflated numbers from 2021 and all this sort of stuff, and it did. But then couple that with a war that just drastically impacted the prices of commodities. That threw a wrench into everything that nobody really expected. And then inside crypto, inside our own community, the crypto community, we had all these other Black Swan events happen with Terra Luna and Three Arrows Capital and right. I mean, it was just, I think we're done, right? I think we're done with this bad news stuff.
We shook out the weaker actors in the crypto community, and weaker is not the right word. The more insolvent, things of that nature. I think it really shined a light on how there should be better practices as far as this cross lending, and everybody's lending money, and it's got a piece of each. And I think a lot of that's I think that landscape will change. We won't see the funny part, right? We won't see visibility into that. We didn't know until Three Arrows and Luna and how all these guys were cross
Celsius, how much money you could get, passive income. I mean, that's another one we didn't. Yeah, you're right. But
what was shocking to me, Zach, was how all these, because look at the stories that came out. It was always in Voyager, right? It's like, what was the stories that went on for weeks and weeks and weeks? If there was a whiff of a company had some exposure to Voyager, to Celsius, to 3AC, then that was a bad thing, right? But you didn't realize that all the varying levels of exposure that all these companies had to each other. That's what nobody really, at least I don't think anybody knew that.
Right. And we still don't fully know what happened with Luna, but I'll refresh everybody's memory. There was something, and we talked about this. I know you probably hit on this too. Charles Hoskinson came out with something right when that happened.
I know.
Basically came out and was talking about BlackRock, and there was another big company that basically were the drivers of this collapse. Yeah. Then that tweet had to be deleted by somebody. The powers that be, that tweet was gone. We never heard of it again. So I don't know. I hate to put the tinfoil hat on, but you know what I mean? I mean, some people would say that this was the governments and the powers that be saying, hey, Biden announced we're going to do something about crypto. Let's create some problems here.
Yeah.
Where there may not be any problems. And now we've got some things, and now you need our help, right? Now you need our help, because look at all this. Look at this mess, right? It was funny how it all lined up. I don't know. I mean, listen, I'm spitballing here. I don't know anything, but
you mean the foil hat, the tin foil hat.
Think about it. I mean, think about it. Biden came out and said, okay, listen, we're going to put a task force together. We need more safety in crypto. And then what happened? A sequence of events of just terrible things, and boom, 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 boom. I mean,
yeah. Hey, man,
we didn't have it. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Then the Coinbase insider trading stuff. I mean,
well, that one's obvious. You can see that's the turf war, right? That's SEC labeling 9 out of those as securities, and that's court battle. That's turf war.
It's funny how it attacked a stable coin. The whole Terra thing was all because of stable coins. What's one of the biggest threats of the government? Stable coins, right? Well, look at this. Look at all this trouble this caused. I don't know. Who knows? But
all right, I'll dig you out of that hole, or so to speak. I'll let you be done. So
you guys can add to that too. I don't know.
Hey, there's always that question. I mean, when you're looking back at it, you're like, it's interesting.
It's weird.
You look at the timeline, right? I mean, so do you think Voyager will hear more from the FDIC? Yep, I do.
Yeah.
I think there's always more. There's always more, right, Bernie? There's always more, Zach. There's always more. There's always more that will unfold.
Hey, you want to hang in for a minute? I want to find that Charles Hoskinson tweet. Or don't go there yet. I'll find it here in a minute.
So
just so you guys know that I'm not like,
it was there. I know. We know it was there. I know it was there. So the admin clear Tether just regained its peg fully from that incident. Yep, I agree. Boca, I'll need my tinfoil hat back later. Zach, you can borrow it for the moment.
Yep.
Hey, Mark, welcome. We're about to wrap up. So if you're coming in, you can watch the replay, Mark, if you want to.
So that tweet was deleted, but there used to be an image on it. There's definitely an image out there. I'll find it, but
it's been scrubbed with your tinfoil hat stuff. It's gone. It's been.
Hey, man.
Scrubbed from
here it is. I found it.
All right. Here, hold on. You got it?
Yep. This was the tweet that was deleted.
All right, here we go.
So I'm gonna have to read this to y'all. Okay, but this was sent out from Hoskinson the day this all went down, and then it quickly was deleted and swept underneath the rug. But I don't forget. We covered it. So here it is. BlackRock and Citadel borrowed 100K BTC from Gemini. It appears in their loan book. And again, this is somebody telling Hoskinson this. That's all it is. They swapped 25K of that BTC into UST, Tether. This was all done quietly in anticipation of the attack. When the time was right, they called up Quan at Terra, said they wanted to sell a lot of BTC for Tether. As it was a large trade, they told him they didn't want to move the market and asked if he would like to buy their large block of BTC at a discount for Tether. Quan took the bait. He gave them a huge chunk of UST, thus lowering the UST liquidity significantly. At that point, BlackRock and Citadel, that was the other company I was thinking of, dumped all the BTC and UST, causing massive slippage and triggering a cascade of forced selling in both assets. The real problem was BlackRock Citadel knew that Anchor protocol, which held a ton of Luna, was a Ponzi scheme. They offered 20% staking APY, and this crash would trigger more withdrawals than Anchor could repay.
Right.
These forced withdrawals and selling would trigger a massive sell-off in Luna, thus further breaking the $1 peg and wrecking the entire market further. BlackRock and Citadel could now buy the BTC back cheaply to repay the loan and pocket the difference. Meanwhile, billions of longs in Bitcoin VAR were wiped out. This was pure market manipulation.
Right.
Hey, I mean,
okay.
If that didn't happen, we don't know what really did happen. So there's one perspective.
So pull up Twitter and go to Watcher Guru's Twitter feed. This happened 17 minutes ago. So go to Twitter and pull up, and it goes directly to what we're talking about on the SEC.
Daniel says this hogwash speculation. That's from your boy, Charles Hoskinson, dude. That's like your idol, man. Come on. I mean, that's not a guy.
Right there, the first one, the first one. This just in. Yep, right there. Literally 17 minutes ago. There you go.
There you go.
So here's the real news. Here is the SEC is starting a practice here of what lawsuits and going after these particular crypto scenarios because they want to get it classified as a security. Period.
100%. I wish they would have said like what crypto Ponzi scheme here.
Yeah.
But there's been a ton of these. I mean, and this is why we need regulation.
Yeah, I'm not faulting. I'm not saying it's right or wrong that they're doing this. I'm saying that that's why they're doing it. They're doing it to ultimately to build a mountain of legal precedent and cases and stuff so that they can say this is why crypto is a security and why we need to manage it.
Yep. 100%. Yeah. No, they're definitely adding to their narrative and giving themselves more leverage. Really, that's what it's about.
Yeah,
it's about them having leverage. Like, look at all these issues. Look at all these problems. You need somebody to come clean it up. We can come clean it up.
So England won the European Championship against Germany. Congrats, England. There you go. Mark's asking for a shout out on that. So there you go. Very
Nice.
cool. Yeah. So, all right, we're gonna wrap up. We didn't even know we were gonna go here. The SEC is never clear in their intention. They need to find security. I agree. Okay. So, final thoughts. We're gonna wrap up. Zach, anything you want to close up with, sir?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. The SEC is never clear in their intentions. Yeah, they're not. They need to clearly define what is security. I mean, this whole Coinbase thing, just because there were 3 bad actors who were trading assets that they knew were getting listed on Coinbase doesn't make those companies who have a currency a security. Just because there were 3 bad people manipulating the price. I mean, that's all it is. It's 3 bad people manipulating the price. It doesn't say anything about the company.
Yeah, they're not.
Why are they just labeled as security? That's BS.
Yeah, no, it has nothing to do with being security. It has to do with the fact that they want to set it as security. Yeah. That's what it is.
It's ruling with an iron fist, and we need better assistance, and hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully, the U.S. does it right, and they don't want to miss this boat. Obviously, I mean, this is huge. This is the next big thing, right?
Yep.
Crypto.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap up with that. Like I said, Zach and I just wanted to come hang out with you guys for a while. So hope you enjoy. If you're catching it on the replay, enjoy, and definitely hit the like, hit the subscribe button. More content coming, lots more, and there will be other live streams and videos every single day. See you. Bye.